Good morning, good morning, good morning. Once again, we welcome you to our Wednesday Bible study as we continue to go through the 11th chapter of the book of Hebrews on a lesson termed The Giants of Faith. Now, Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 tells us that now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So we know that our faith causes us to believe the things that we don't even see, because our faith is our evidence. Let's look at the 11th chapter book of Hebrews, verse number 30. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. The background for this verse is found in Joshua chapter 6, verses 1 through 21. Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. And Jehovah said unto Joshua, See, I have given unto thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. And ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times. And the priests shall blow with the trumpets. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up every man straight before him. And Joshua, the son of Nun, called the priests, and said unto them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of Jehovah. And he said unto the people, Pass on, and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass, when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests, bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns, passed on before the Lord, and blew with the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them. And the armed men went before the priests that blew with the trumpets, and the rearward came after the ark, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth, until the day I bid you to shout. Then shall ye shout. So the ark of Jehovah compassed the city, going about it once, and they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of Jehovah. And 7 priests, bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of Jehovah, went on continually, and blew with the trumpets, and the armed men went before them. But the rearward came after the ark of the Lord, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the 2nd day they compassed the city once, and returned unto the camp. So they did 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day, and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass that at the 7th time, when the priests blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, for Jehovah hath given you the city. And the city shall be accursed, even it and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed. When ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel accursed, and trouble it. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto Jehovah. They shall come into the treasury of the Lord. So the people shouted when the priests blew with the trumpets. And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him. And they took the city, and they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, ox and sheep and ass, with the edge of the sword. All right, you got the picture. Soldiers in front. Next are priests with the horns, blowing their horns. Next is the Ark of the Covenant, and then there's soldiers behind. They go around the wall once, and then they go back to camp. They do this for 6 consecutive days. And then on the 7th day, they go around the wall 7 times. The priests give the long blast on the horns. Joshua says to shout, and the walls fall down flat. Now, as often as I've read the biblical account of this victory, it continues to amaze me. Verse 2 tells us, and Jehovah said unto Joshua, see, I have given into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. God said, I've already given you the victory. So Joshua, this is not a test of valor or a test of strength. This is a test of faith. See, Moses is dead, and Joshua is now leading God's people. Here's his first big test. Will he obey? How strong is his faith? When Paul wrote about this episode in the Hebrew letter, he recounted it with only one sentence. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. Every one of his readers would have known about the battle. All of them would know all the details of the attack. And they would know already that this victory did not come because the Israelites marched around the wall or blew on the trumpets or carried the ark or shouted on cue. That did not bring the victory. They would know that the victory came because the leader and the people had enough faith to obey Jehovah's seemingly ridiculous instructions. Had they come up in their own mind to do this, it would not have worked. But the reason it worked is because they were being obedient to God. I often wonder what the conversation must have been in the camp, perhaps some grumbling and murmuring among the soldiers and the people in the camp. This is no way to fight a war. None of this makes sense. I can't believe that Jehovah told Joshua to do this. Can you just hear them? Now, if left to man, they would have had a strategy session. They would have mapped out a plan of attack, built battering rams, and dug through the walls at night, or maybe hurl fire over the wall under cover of darkness, or some other more conventional means of taking the city. But it was not left to man. God said, I've already given them to you. Now he wants to see if you'll obey. Now, Joshua was with Moses from the beginning. He had seen the plagues in Egypt. He had been led by the pillar of fire and the pillar of a cloud. He had seen the Red Sea parted. He had eaten of the manna from heaven every day. He had seen the quail blow in on the wind. He'd seen water from the rock. He himself wore shoes that did not wear out for 40 years. He had seen God destroy the disobedient and eliminate the rebels in the camp. All of this was contributing to the growing of Joshua's faith. Everything God said he would do was accomplished. If he promised it, he fulfilled it. Therefore, there's no instruction too outlandish to follow. Joshua learned that he didn't have to know why God said do it, but all he had to do was trust and obey. I wonder, have you learned yet that you don't have to you don't have to know why God does things. All we got to do is trust him and obey him. I want to have the events of your life giving you enough evidence of the delivering power of God. I've said before, the key to a strong faith is a strong memory. Joshua was convinced because he no doubt remembered all that Jehovah had already done. So he said, walk around the wall and go back to camp. That's what we're going to do. He said, nobody make a sound but the trumpets blown by the priest. That's what we're going to do. He tells them how to order in them. That's what we're going to do. Go around the 7 days, 7 times. That's what we're going to do. Y'all follow what I'm saying? So now Joshua has enough faith in God, enough confidence in God to rely on God. Lord, I don't know what you finna do, but if you tell me to do this, that's what we're going to do. We don't know what the end of this story is that we're in right now. But just like Joshua, it's up to us to do what we can and let God do what we can't. Joshua, can you knock the walls down? No. Well, leave that to me. Can you march around the walls? Yes. Can you line the people up so the priest can blow on the horns? Yes. Can you do it once a day for 6 days? Yes. Can you do it 7 times on the 7th day? Yes. Those things Joshua could do. Bringing the wall down, he couldn't do. So he had to leave that to God. God is always looking for us to do what we can and let him do what we can't. Can we eliminate COVID-19? No. But we can be cautious. We can stay home. We can wear protection. We can wash our hands and practice social distancing and wear a mask when you go in public and things of that nature. Let's do what we can and let God do what we can't. The worldwide events of the past few months have struck fear and panic in the hearts of most everyone. Our lives have been changed in unimaginable ways. But I wonder, have you noticed we still alive? We still making it? Maybe not as we like, but we still making it. Who do you think is helping us? I earnestly pray that you take away from this study the importance of faith in God and the resolve to rely on him in this global crisis. Hebrews 11, verse 31. By faith, the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believed not, when she had received the spies with peace. I'm glad Rahab was added because it assures me that even those with dark and less than admirable past and presence can be people of faith. Remember, Rahab was not one of the children of Israel. She was a Gentile. Here's a Gentile that believes. The background of this passage is found in Joshua chapter 2, verses 1 through 24. And Joshua, the son of Nun, sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into a harlot's house named Rahab and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there come men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thy house, for they be come to search out all the country. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, there came men unto me, but I wist not which they were. And it came to pass about the time of the shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whither the men went, I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof of the house, and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the men pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof. And she said unto the men, I know that Jehovah hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did to the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For Jehovah your God, he is God in heaven above and in earth beneath. Listen to Rahab's faith. Now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by Jehovah, since I have showed you kindness, that you will also show kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token, and that ye will save alive my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters and all that they have, and deliver our lives from death. And the men answered her, our life for yours, if ye utter not this our business. And it shall be, when Jehovah hath given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with thee. Then she let them down by a cord through the window, for her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. And she said unto them, get ye to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourself there 3 days, until the pursuers be returned. And afterward may ye go your way. And the men said unto her, we will be blameless of this thine oath which thou hast made us swear. Behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window which thou didst let us down by. And thou shalt bring thy father and thy mother and thy brethren and all thy father's household home unto thee. And it shall be that whosoever shall go out of the doors of thy house into the street, his blood shall be upon his head, and we will be guiltless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be on our head, if any hand be upon them. And if thou utter this our business, then we will be quit of thine oath, which thou hast made us to swear. And she said, according to your words, so be it. And she sent them away, and they departed. And she bound the scarlet line in the window. And they went and came unto the mountain, and abode there 3 days, until the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought them throughout all the way, but found them not. So the two men returned, and descended from the mountain, and passed over, and came to Joshua the son of Nun, and told him all things that befell them. And they said unto Joshua, truly, Jehovah hath delivered into our hands all the land. For even all the inhabitants of the country do faint because of us. All right, now we see the setup. Rahab is about to be delivered because she believed in God and relied upon him. In Joshua chapter 6, they've already gone around the city. They've already blown on the trumpets. They've already made the shout. The wall has come down. And they're going in to take the city. They're killing everything and everybody. But verse 25 says, and Joshua saved Rahab the harlot alive, and her father's household, and all that she had. And she dwelleth in Israel even unto this day, because she hid the messengers which Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. Now, these events were chosen by the apostle and the Holy Spirit to bring us to a greater level of faith. Of all the faithful people of God throughout all the ages, Paul chose these. I believe he needed to mention people and events that needed little or no explanation for his readers. He wanted them to know there were people that were faithful to God. And I want you to know that you can be faithful as well. Prayerfully, one day you too will be a giant of faith. Hope to see you next week as we continue in our study in the 11th chapter of the book of Hebrews. And may God bless you.